Hey everyone, Ryan here, aka That Nerd Rhymer. I just wanted to get on and do a quick little rough video about my thoughts on the Leonhart's 90's pop-up shop. It's been about 2 weeks now, so hopefully it's not too late to be talking about it. I didn't want to be negative or anything about it, so this is more of just how I think the next event could be better. Bottom line, I'm not really negative about the event at all. I'm not sour about it because Leonhart had the goal of to get vintage packs out to as many people as possible for far less than market value, and that's what he did. About 750 people from all over the place, New York, Ohio, I think I heard Puerto Rico and stuff on the live stream, and who knows whoever else from either ones I didn't see on the stream or people who didn't open on the stream, where they were from. So like, he got his goal. He did exactly what he wanted to do. So I'm proud of Leonhard for doing that. I just wanted to give some thoughts on how the next one I feel could be better, more enjoyable, and even more accessible to more people to be able to come in person and share on this to just really have a great time and enjoy and build this community of Pokemon. First is the time window. So rather than having just a 1 day, like one event type thing, which was 10 to 6, 10 to 5 or whatever, those 7, 8 hours or whatever it was, you have it be an actual pop up shop. So you go find a vacant retail location and you set up an actual store, shop, photo area, whatever you want to do for 3 days, just like weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Um, the second was like the location. The music venue isn't really the best thing for a lot of people to go around and mix and convince and move around. They're kind of meant for you getting there, you staying in your spot, and you watching the one stage. So it got very crowded, and that was the chief complaint I see a lot of people saying about. For my personal like nostalgia frame of mind, when I think back to the '90s and my experience with Pokemon as a kid, I played at Wizards of the Coast inside of the mall. So when he said pop up shop, it instantly took me back. Like, okay, we're going to have like a Wizards of the Coast store in some retail location, and you get to go in and walk in and see all the old displays and stuff like that to shop. Um, so if he goes to a dying mall, something like Music City Mall up here in DFW, and sets up who that mall is actually used to being able to do. They do Comic Cons and stuff there too, like little small Comic Cons and pop up events like that all the time. So they are very accommodating to events like this would be. You wouldn't have to pay for parking. Like in addition to my general membership ticket, I had to pay $20 to park at this event. It's like parking in a mall free. That would take care of the food problem. There's only one food vendor at the location. And at the mall, there's obviously a food court to just walk over there and get food. There's also lots of restaurants around that particular mall or any mall really now. And on a mall you can come and go at the event since it was in Music City and they want to control crowd and everything like that. Once you went in, you either had to finish everything there or leave. Like you couldn't come and go as you wanted. So there's a lot. That's why the crowd and stuff are so bad because people couldn't leave and come and go like they wanted. They had to either stay there or be done with the event. Um, so that'll help a lot with that if it's inside a mall. Again, that's also speaking from my personal frame of reference ones. I played at Toys R Us, I played at comic shops, and I played at Wizard of the Coast things. So like those were my experiences in the '90s and Pokemon was at, or I guess rather early 2000s, since it didn't come out until '99. Um, so that'll help a lot. The other thing I would like to see more about is more vintage, a variety of the vintage packs. He did a lot of base set too, which I understand because that's great. It's a lot more accessible for him to do a mass amount giveaway of the base set two than it is to do mass amount of base set and jungle and all those ones that are harder to come by because they're older and more popular and more expensive. Base set two kind of gives you a nice mix of all those sets, so like it gives you a little variety of just everything you get. So it visually looks like you're still getting those ones that still has that same nostalgia hit, which I thought was a fantastic idea. I would just love to see pretty much a range of anything Wizards of the Coast made, and even a little after, like the E series and all that kind of stuff. Just everything, or not, I guess the E series, but like a Fire Red and all that. Like all pretty much everything before Black and White, I would really consider vintage, and I would love to see doing that. So, maybe the next pop up shop rather than being Leonhardt's '90s pop up, be Leonhardt's 2000 pop ups, and it's just everything from the first decade of Pokemon, really. Or even not even that far really. I forget when Black and White came out. I was out of the game at that point. I didn't come back until 2017. Um, but I thought that would be great. And one of the things I did really enjoy about the event was the photo booths. And I think if you did an event at the mall, like that's a lot more accessible for people to kind of come and go. He can even have like the photo booths outside of his actual things, like while he's setting up the shop. It's something people can like walk by and do a quick photo with their own thing, or just kind of just a prop to do photos with. Like that was something that me and my girlfriend and her kid enjoyed. I was taking the pictures with that, and it's easy, free thing to do. He can have more of those. And then the play and trade area at the event was very crowded. So if you did it again at a mall, like that opens up, like people can just go to the food court if they want to play and trade and play the tables in there. And you can also expand out a little more to have that rather than just kind of being confined to that balcony area where you try to stay out of the way of the lines. So if you had the location again at a mall or some kind of larger retail space, I'm just thinking, again, I just keep pitching the mall because that's my frame of reference, and I also know that Leonhart himself, because he's done several videos where he went to like the mall that he grew up in as a kid while it was shutting down, and like obviously reminisced about that in his times at a mall. Like it's a nice personal touch to him. I know. So, but like this is one that the mall that I'm referencing now, Louisville Mall, is because I know it's a local one to both me and Leonhart, because I'm from the DFW area, Dallas Fort Worth area. They do Comic Cons there, and it's very easy. It's a nice, really wide range. I think it was like a couple of stores that had gone out of business. They just like knocked down some walls and combined it, so it's a nice like a kind of like an event space really. And so you can have a whole, basically think of like the whole space of a store, like a smaller store in a mall, open for play and trade area. The whole space, and this again like typical mall store, not like a big department store or anything, but it's typical location. Although actually this mall does have department stores that have gone out of business because Pennies and stuff shut down. So there is that option. You can rent out an entire floor of a department store basically to house the event. But anyway, so we can do something like that. So he has an area for the play and trade, an area for the photo booths, or if Veronica Taylor comes back, that was another like fantastic one she did. My girlfriend's kid was dressed as Ash and absolutely loved meeting her. You can build that up. And then the last area would be like, so basically it's like the whole space is like three story links long. So you have play and trade, photo booth, and that kind of little interactive environments with it. And the last space area would be the store. And like I said, I would love to see an actual store. I don't expect him to stock a store completely of vintage packs and have that open and have that even last for 3 days. I think how he did buying the tickets online to get the packs is fine. I know a lot of people who had GA thought they were going to have the ability to buy the pack, and from what I was reading and stuff like that, I had zero expectations of that. I knew that going in, I would not be able to buy a vintage pack, especially if I was not going to be able to buy it for the $3.99 price. I did expect that there would have been more vendors at the event. Troll and Toad was there, and they sold booster boxes of Fusion Strike and I think Chilling Reign for $80 each. So I got $80 Fusion Strike box because I hadn't got one yet, so that was fantastic. I was really hoping for more vendors though, and the only part that's kind of disappointing about that is there's a couple local vintage shops that specialize in old Pokemon, and I know Leonhart has contact with them. If not in a good relationship, he at least like knows who they are and who he is. It's an easy contact window there. You could have had them, and I know that they're also used to setting up at conventions, so they're used to taking their inventory, going somewhere else and selling it. So I would like to see him partner with those places to come and offer to sell their vintage products and stuff like that, so the people who had GA and weren't getting the vintage packs still had options to buy it. Even if it is just market, it's still there. It's still something they could look at the very least, look at to get that nostalgia hit. Like they go, oh yeah, I remember pulling these cards, or even seeing new cards that they didn't know about. But like the shop itself, thinks they could have displays from those cool people selling vintage, and then just the rest just selling Pokemon memorabilia, modern things, basically just a pop-up Pokemon shop. And it's like, I know there's a shop in San Antonio, I think it's called Pokemaniacs or something like that, that's in a mall. And that's what they do. Like they sell plushies and Pokemon memorabilia and all this kind of stuff. I haven't been there, but just seen them on TikTok. They look really great. So they can do that. At the event too, we also had a museum collection, like with little toys and artifacts, which was really cool. And again, like just seeing the packaging alone of those things, like that took me back to when I was a kid and seeing all those ones. So that was a big nostalgia factor for me. So the shop, even though it's selling vintage ones, modern Pokemon cards in my hypothetical scenario, could still have like behind the register, so it's nice and protected and safe, just a display setup of the vintage products, like not for sale or anything, just literally just a museum type display of their stuff. And that's enough to, like, from someone like me anyway, that's enough to, like, I just want to be able to see it. That's that was the biggest reason I even went to the event, even though I knew I was not getting a vintage pack. I just kind of wanted to experience the nostalgia, and that was honestly that was very lacking. Even though it was a 90's pop up, nothing about it was 90's. Um, Aside from opening packs that again were technically 2000, nothing was 90's. So you can easily set up a shop like that. So like I said, like you can even have old school registers, like use like old IBM like green text on black screen. If y'all know what know what I'm talking about, and this be a lot easier to flow that way. People could, like I said, they can come and go. You don't have to pay for parking. I'm sure that it'll bring some life to the mall a little bit, because then people can shop around the other stores. That's why the mall is used to doing that, to help give appreciation. No, the mall will be appreciative of the business that it'll bring in. You can still have the VIP tickets, and you can sell the VIP tickets, like rather than, like, again in this scenario it'll be open multiple days. So VIP tickets for each day. So rather than trying to have 750 people, is what the number I keep hearing around that much, waiting in line for the same times they get the same tax, you break it up. So if you do the pop-up shop for a weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you have 3 days. It's 250 people each day. It's a lot more manageable and a lot easier to understand. You can just have, obviously, like rather than like front loading all this stuff, because obviously people who got to the VIP early or VIP 1 and all that got the first pick of the packs. So that's why like the base set was gone, jungle was gone, the Neo was gone, and towards the end of the stream was this base set 2, base set 2, base set 2, base set 2, base set 2. Got a little repetitive. That's why I would want to see more variety, like I said, and then all you have to, and that also makes it more accessible, because rather than trying to track down all of these base set, you can track down anything Wizards did. And then you just take those packs, divide it up among 3 different days, so there's even amount of each set in the pack, or as even as you can, depending on what you got. And then all those people on those 3 days, they got the VIP ticket, they got the ability to buy that one, to get the pack, still have a fair choice of what they want. And then the 3 days also gives them more accessibility as far as travel plans and everything that can go, because people did travel. There was Puerto Rico, there was Ohio, there's New York, California. I heard people from all over the place coming in there, and the community was really great. Just there, and that was really fun meeting people. Like I was talking to a guy who was from California. So like I never would have met him if it wasn't for this event. Like that was really cool. But yeah, I just think I really love to see him do it again, and he has already expressed that he wants to do it again. Leonhart somehow actually saw this video and made it through all my rambling. I'm local to you. I'm in Dallas, Fort Worth. I would love to sit down and talk to you a little more coherently about how I think the event could be better, and to try to do some event planning. Like God's throwing that out there. I'd love to help you with that, because I do enjoy, really do enjoy this, and there really was aspects of your events that I thought were fantastic. It just had a lot of logistical issues, which I know you are fully aware of. I know people kind of got onto you about it, and it's not the most helpful ones. You even see that, you even saw like on your face as you're at the event, you're doing around, like I'm sure part of just being stressed out from everything, but it wasn't your exact vision. And I would love to be able to get with you to help the vision come to true. There's just lots of ways that I think that like little cool things you could have done. The play and trade area, like I said, could have been expanded a lot more. And my hypothetical thing, it would be expanded more. A lot of people I saw when they're on streams, though, for doing the packs, they brought their own setup and they recorded themselves on the packs. So like at the play and trade area, you could just have tables set up where people can put their phones or their cameras on. Like you just have holders for them if they didn't bring their own, and they can stream and record themselves. Like rather than necessarily doing the stream online with you, they can do their own little shout out in their own little kind of quiet area off to the side, or they can record themselves doing the battles and working the whatever trade deals and stuff they want. I thought that would be really cool. And if you do multiple days, you can still have the different VIP streams where like you have someone who paid the VIP 1, VIP 2 to do the stream with you on your own personal like live stream. And then you can have a separate meet and greet option that can turn to a charity thing. So like I said, in the shop, you're selling modern cards, so that people can spend, $4 or $5 on the modern pack, or they can upgrade that to say like a $20 donation, and that $20 donation goes to NAMI. So basically that's $4 or $5 to get the pack, $15 or so donation to NAMI, who's your Leonhart's charity of choice. There's a lot of mental health things if you're not familiar with them. and they get to just go do a meet and greet. You know, they get to just do a quick guess the energy pack battle. You sign their energy card, and they move on their way like that. And everyone, because I know a lot of people were complaining about not being able to meet you, not being the FaceTime. It's a real simple way to get your FaceTime. Real simple way to raise money for your charity choice. Like I know a ton of people that would happily do $20 to meet you. Like that is kind of a no-brainer. Really, you get to go do your trademark things that people watch your video and love. Um, that's I'm sure I probably left out something I had in mind, but I think I've rambled on enough. So just let me know what y'all think. If y'all went to the event, what did you think of it? How do you think it better? Like, what's your nostalgia frame of reference? Like I said, mine's in the mall. That's why I'm gravitating towards that. But different people have different things, and I'm very aware of that. So like, how did you experience it? And just, yeah, let me know in the comments below, and I'd love to get some feedback on what you think on how the event went. Enjoy the rest of your day, night, evening, whatever it is.